What's up, buddy? Do I have a story for you? Do you want to hear about the time I lost my virginity?
What if you started like this? Hi, welcome to the Cream Crew podcast. You know, Tom, I didn't lose my virginity until I was 27 years old. When did
Is that
you
fucking
lose your
true? I
virginity?
bet that's true, isn't it?
That is true.
Why don't we start with you? How did you lose your virginity?
I lost, what kind of virginity are we talking about? I lost my virginity in my early 30s. I was just more focused on scholarly work and finishing my masters and stuff. So I was
Come on, man. Give me the juice. Don't hit me with these lies.
my virginity.
Yeah. How old were you?
I was 15 as well.
Liar.
I was 15.
Dude, I can see your face. You're not losing your virginity at 15 with a mug like that.
Okay, well, you are underestimating. You're underestimating these eyes and what humor can do.
As like a born comedian, I'm well aware of what humor can do, and you do not have it.
Okay. All right, dude. First off, who's carrying this podcast all the time?
Me.
This guy. This guy.
No, you're just a
This
third wheel.
guy.
All right, you were 15.
You know what? Viewers, what I want you to do, who carries this show, put it down in the comments below.
Is it Tom, or is it the other people?
Okay. Well, first off, racist.
Okay,
no, Tom. Well, you were so
15.
eager.
I'm sorry. No. You were 15.
You sat there.
You were 15. No.
Just to give viewers more context,
Okay,
real quick.
go on then. Everything he's about to say is a lie.
More context. No. To give the viewers more context. Tom approached me this morning and he was like, "Oh, bro, I have to tell you about the time that I lost my virginity." And I was like, "Oh, that'd be kind of funny." But then he kind of just like, I don't know, he just really harped onto it. So it better be a good story. You're really building it up. So let's see if it's good.
I
very
really want to
excited.
know how you lost yours first. Because
I lost my virginity.
yeah, I want to set up a bad story.
You came to this.
Better.
Okay, you say a bad story.
That's what I said. Prove me wrong, motherfucker.
I lost my virginity when I was 15, and the first thing she said when I took off my pants, she said, she just said, "How is it that big?" And I thought to myself, that's kind of odd. Like, I was like, well, I mean, kind of overweight. She said, "No, that hog in between your legs." And at first I thought she was touching my thighs because they would touch together because I was a fat kid. And I was like, no, like, I mean, she's like, "No, you're hog." And she came like 7 times. And that was the first time that I had.
Nice.
What was your also, it was in a movie theater. We were watching Herbie Fully Loaded.
Hey, Lindsay Lohan was fucking hot back then.
Yeah, I was like, "Hey, can you just like step to the side so I can see Lindsay Lohan?" That was my first time.
Lindsay Lohan caresses fucking car.
I was that much of just like a fucking like alpha, like a wolf, like a Wall Street tycoon type guy. He's like, "Just look over that way."
You're like, "Hey, dog.
finish."
I'm trying to watch a film.
Yeah. Oh, Herbie. Yeah,
Herbie.
I was coming over the Volkswagen. I was like, "Oh, fuck." Herbie is fully loaded. All right.
Oh no, I thought of it, but I didn't drop that. It felt too easy.
Well, I did. Are you going to talk about your stupid virginity story or not? You built it up this whole time.
I wanted to bond with you over yours first, but if I have to lead the charge, like the light brigade,
you made it seem you were like,
I'll do so.
You were like, do you want to hear it? I'm like, yeah, sure, Tom. Just
I'm like, yeah, but do you want to hear it? Dude, I have such a finite amount of stories. I've really got to hype up the ones that are vaguely interesting.
I have 3 major experiences in my life, and this is one of them.
It's true.
All right, well, just tell
All
us.
right, I'm going to get to it. So back in school, I don't know if it was the same for you, but it felt like everyone was just like down dicking constantly. You're like 14 years old and you're like, "Oh, everyone's having sex except me," which is of course not true, like in the slightest. But I thought that, was it the same in America? Was it that like vibe?
Yeah, I would say so. And I think that if people were getting action before you, you'd call them sluts, especially if they were girls, because you're 15 and you're like, "She kissed Bryce? What a whore!" Well, and I think I talked about this before.
Yeah. It's just it weighs on your mind constantly.
Yeah, because then secretly you're just like, "I wish she would have kissed me," type deal.
Well, it's weird. I didn't have that kind of like, it didn't have that feeling where I went to school. I don't know if it's England, but like you wouldn't call a girl a slut if she fucked someone, I guess, or vice versa.
Maybe it was just me.
It could have just been that fucking whore.
Yeah,
you're like a child of
just
God.
Like, what are you talking about? She just kissed. She just kissed a guy. It's no big deal. I'm like, heathen bitch. I just, like go to the men's locker room and just like cut my inner thighs.
Fucking hit yourself with one of those like back whips.
Yeah, like the Da Vinci Code type thing.
Yeah, for real.
I love you, God. I love you. Just like whipping myself back. Some kid's like, occupied, like in the stall. He's like, just take it. Go ahead, I'm done.
But yeah, I think I basically like. I'm gonna have to be careful with who I implicate in this.
Say her full name and her address and everything.
Well, basically, I always used to go to a family member for advice about women because, unsurprisingly, I was not some sort of hot shot with the ladies. So I was like, "How do you make girls not think you're fucking weird?" And I think my family member, not naming any names or what relation of family they are, got tired of this, and he or she said, "I tell you what. If you can lose your virginity by the end of this summer, because it was summer break, which isn't as long as America. It's not like 3 months. It's like 6 weeks."
Was his mom who said this?
It was my mom. Listen, Tom, you gotta stop asking me how to finger fuck girls.
If you lose your virginity by the end of the summer, I'll buy you an Xbox.
Well, it was 50 quid, which is, I don't know, $70.
She said if you lost your virginity by the summer, she'd give you 50 quid.
Yes.
Wow.
It wasn't my mum, by the way, but we'll just go with that for the sake of the story. So my mum said, 50 quid, lose your virginity by the end of the summer. It's on. And I was like, okay, well, fuck. Now I've got like the perfect incentive. So again, not being much of a hotshot with the ladies, I decided to take the like logical, more of a sniper approach than a shotgun approach. I'm making this sound like I'm super rapey.
The woman is going to die, but a different way.
No, what I mean is I employed like tact instead of just being like, hey, or trying to flirt or anything. I approached my female friends, all 2 of them, and I was like, do you know anyone who has such low self-esteem and loose value of themselves that they will just sleep with me? I told them I laid it all up front. This is for a bet. This is a deal. There's no like romance or love involved. This is just to fulfill the criteria and get my money so I can buy like candies or whatever.
What a fucking fairy tale Britain seems like, right? All the American viewers are like $50 and you're just going to spit it on candy? Like, what kind of fucking deal is that?
I didn't have many things in.
Can I sleep with one of your mates so I can buy me some candies? They're like, what?
Right, well, no, they were all on board for it anyway, and they asked around, and there was some nibbles, but no follow throughs. And anyway, one of the girls that I asked to help me, basically it was the last day of that summer break, and I was like, look, I'm not gonna get this bet if I don't find someone. Like, would you just do it? And she was like, well, why are you shaking your head?
Because you can continue your story. Go ahead.
She said yes, more or less is the moral of the story, and I was like, type, all right. Anyway, I was supposed to like go to her house, and then she was like, yeah, we can't use my house. My parents aren't there. But I did scout some locations.
This is dipping in. You know what? I was before I knew it, I was knee deep in cringe, and I like looked down. I'm like, all right, go ahead.
Oh, retro. Yeah. So anyway, she scouted some locations. There was some choice places, but we ended up behind a train station, like in an alleyway. Fucking like 12 in the morning, like 4 broad daylight. God, I remember there was like skyscrapers kind of overlooking.
At high noon?
Yeah, dude. I can't drive. I have to get a bus back at 5 p.m. I can't do this at night. I lived in like a hamlet of 100 people, like buses to get to a town with locations. Yeah, I didn't have a lot of choice hunter. So anyway, I was like, oh, okay, I suppose this is good. And I remember distinctly, like, the first thing she said is like, I'm not going to blow you. And I was like, okay. Didn't know we were...
They still say it today. Am I right, boys? Woo!
I was just like, I didn't know we were bartering, but okay, that's fine. I'm not really asking for anything in particular. Dude, first off, I did not get hard. I got like half a chub going. I couldn't get hard because I was so fucking scared and embarrassed, and I could hear people all around us. And then she was like, oh, fine, God. And then she started to blow me. Immediately renegaded on her one ground rule.
Yeah. Not much of a concrete rule at all there. Yeah, that's nice.
Oh, God. So anyway, I was like, oh, okay, that feels pretty good. And it got me like half a chub. I still was too scared to get like fully erect. She produced the condom. You didn't even bring your own condom. Did you come prepared, woman? You don't expect this to actually happen. You know, I thought it'd just be kind of a bit of a runaround. But anyway, she had the foresight to bring the prophylactics. And I put it on my half-chubbed dick, and I, like, entered her for 3 seconds. It's like a marshmallow in a coin slot. Just, like, pressing
all
up.
All these descriptions are terrible. I hate when people say, I entered her. It's like a giant, mansion door. Come in! Also, if you're half chubbed up, you're just like smashing it in there. You're not even like really putting it in. You're just kind of like pushing it in with your fucking thumb, and you're just like.
Literally, I was just like smushing against like the exterior, futilely. But anyway, long story short, I got the job done, and that doesn't mean I came. It was literally, I was like, well, this counts. I crossed the threshold.
Did you bring the like used condom back to your mom to show for proof, or could you have not have just lied the whole time and like, yeah, I fucked. I fucked hard.
I did the
it was
fuck.
Awesome.
Nah, like
I completed the fuck. Yeah.
Well, obviously I didn't come because it was just terrifying. So after I felt like I had honored the terms of the deal, I just took off the fucking Johnny and like tossed it to the side. Maybe it's still there to this day. She fucking like, I guess because I like fingered her a bit. First time I ever did that too. She like sprayed my hands with like Axe body spray. So because we were meeting some other friends like that same day, and
you're gonna want to smell like this, not my pussy.
Yeah, basically.
Wow.
So anyway, long story short, got it done. I got fucking gypped on the money. I only got 30 quid of the 50 quid. I got fucking shortchanged.
Moms don't like to honor. Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Yep. So
that was this. I don't even know if we should even share this. This was. I was watching this and I was like, if there's children present, I feel like I'm like, oh my God.
Well, that's
terrible.
That's the fucked up thing is like, I remember 2 years later, I told my mum like what I just told you more or less with less like details obviously, and I remember her getting
more details. Yeah.
I remember her because obviously my mum wasn't the person who set the deal forth, but I remember her being like really upset about it. She was like, "You're joking, right?" Like that's, and I remember thinking at the time I was 17. I was like, "Why are you being so weird about this? Like, who cares?" It was like funny, mum. And then now that I'm like 27, you look at a 15-year-old person and they're a fucking child. Like they might as well be wearing diapers. And like it kind of makes sense. It's just like fuck. You're like, my baby.
Well, the thing that especially as 15-year-olds now and stuff, you think that you're so old and sophisticated. And especially for men, I remember there was a period of time where I did not give a fuck about girls at all.
Yeah.
I didn't even want to fucking jack off or anything. It was just like you're living free, and then all of a sudden you're an ape and you're just like you're like and that's all you can think about. So then it's just more it becomes, and then that's like kind of the whole deal of being like, and then all those movies start making sense, like the comedies where it's like the guys are like, we gotta get laid, man.
Oh yeah,
we gotta get laid. And you're like, oh, I get it now. I feel what their pain and their struggle. But, yeah.
This is so profound.
Also, any person that says they had a good first time is a fucking liar. Always.
Yeah,
there's no way. It's like you're I don't know, fixing a car for the first time or whatever with no instructions besides watching a master builder. It's like if you took this is a better analogy. If you watched a masterclass ad on YouTube, Neil Gaiman, and then you decided to write your first book, it's not going to be good. Okay, it's like, and I'm comparing that to like, because people are like, oh well, porn. It's like I'm gonna do. He's like, you're not gonna.
Yeah, first off, you're not like a fucking stallion porn star.
First off, you're not like a jacked 6'3" Puerto Rican man with like a 12-inch cock. You're just not. So like, picture yourself in that situation. You're like, ooh, yeah. Don't think. Stick to your limitations. Keep it biblical.
Yeah, so,
stoner is what I'm saying. Kill her.
Yeah, kill her for being a fucking whore. You just keep going back to that well. Can't help yourself.
I can't. I'm still there. I lied to everyone and said that I got married, but really,
well, no. Now that you're married, you can fucking let out your rage and frustration on your poor wife.
Yeah.
She's like, "What are these scars on your back?"
You tripped and fell. I always hated that excuse for like domestic abuse stuff. I fell.
You're like, what, down like a steep 12-foot fucking cliff onto a rock into your eye?
Yeah, I knew a girl who was in a abusive relationship, and let me tell you something. It's not how they say it is in the movies, where where like the guy sees and he's like, "What happened?" She's like, "It's an accident. I fell." And the guy's like, "Hey, no! Like, what happened?" You know what I mean? It's a lot more like, "What happened?" She's like, "I fell down some stairs. It was like an accident." And you're like, "Damn, man, you should watch out. You got to watch out. The place is slippery." I feel like you're way more apt to believe people when they're just like, "Oh, I slept," and you're like, "Shit, yeah, fuck, I've tripped on some steps. One time I hit my shins really hard." You're like, "Oh, yeah, I mean, I've fucked myself up on some stairs, but not to that extent." Kind of makes you feel like less stupid or something. You're like, "I just hit my shins, didn't fucking beat up my whole face." That's
you
a
dumb
positive
bitch.
for me.
Fucking watch your steps. Jesus.
Learn to walk. It's like, why does it look like that one's like a ring or like a fist or something?
Why does that look like the perfect diameter of a cigar?
Yeah. What's that burn for? Oh, we were cooking. Huh? Yeah.
That cooking
grease
fat will
fires
get
my
you.
day too. Yeah, you gotta watch out when you're cooking. Pretty crazy in the kitchen. Yeah, that's why the phrase it comes from. Too hot in the kitchen.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I think we should address the elephant in the room.
Oh yeah. Wow.
We were having such a good time, we forgot all about him.
It's true. Donald is not here today. Mr. Don Gregor, not here.
Don Gregor of Flash Gets.
Yeah, he is absent. He is currently in Cambodia. We don't know why he went there. He just said I have a ticket and I'm not going to cancel my flight. And I thought that was kind of odd, kind of scary.
He does seem to favor Asian countries.
He does. He's very into Asian culture. If there's one thing I love about Don is the assortment of katanas he has up on his wall.
Dude, fucking bitches be getting wet when they see Don's katana collection, let me tell you.
They do. He's definitely a ladies' man, I would say. 6'9" of raw sexual energy. And let me tell you something.
Deep voice.
Deep voice.
The women love his croaky bullfrog voice.
They do. Well, some of the viewers don't know, or the listeners don't know, is that Don has kind of a silly addiction. And what I mean addiction is this man, I don't know how to say it. Should I just dive into it? I don't think there's really a way to beat around the bush as he would.
Oh, dude, you are slick.
Yeah. Don, let me tell you what something Don's probably doing right now. Don is probably eating a big plate full of pussy, is what I imagine. There is something I found out about Don.
True.
Don is a man who loves to give back, if you know what I mean. He once told me many moons ago, he told me, he was like, "Oh yeah, I almost got my dick sucked, but I told her no." And I said, I literally said this, "I need to chow down." "No, I don't want that. I need to chow down," is what he said. And I thought that was kind of gross because, I mean, if you were a girl, I don't think that you'd get your, pussy all nice and wet if some guy said, "I'm going to chow down," as if it's like a Chinese buffet, but those are his tactics. And I imagine that when he is down there, because you have to also imagine when you eat pussy, you're laying on your stomach, usually. Unless you're in kind of your different positions or whatever. Don is 7'4". So he has to look like a daddy long legs, like tarantula. Just like burying his
crawls out from under the bed, like,
yeah, like a
fucking scuttles over to her.
This is actually, that's why they play that game. They play the game called Tarantula, and he hides in the closet until she's dead asleep, and he opens the fucking the closet door, and then he crawls out on top of the fucking ceiling. but his hands are on top of the ceiling, but his feet are still on the ground because he's so tall. And he kind of just he's like. He walks across the room and she's like,
she has to wear earplugs because she'll wake up otherwise, and the surprise is ruined.
He's very loud, and actually they had to plant the bed on the ground. It's weird. It's earthquake proof because he's so heavy footed with his massive fucking feet. If you can imagine the feet that are underneath a man who's 7'6", and he gets progressively taller every time we talk about him.
I tell you, it was a real surprise, like, because me and Don live together now, and also his girlfriend lives with us as well. But before it was just me and him, so you know it was normal. But when we got here, I heard the fucking stomps, and then just hours of slobbering, just hours.
Right.
And they've got a dog in their room, right? So for the longest time, I thought the dog was like going to town on some fucking kibble.
Yeah, you would assume that it's like it's got a mouthful of peanut butter. The dog.
Yeah, I mean that's what it sounded
that's what
like,
you would,
right?
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. Yeah, it sounds like it sounds like the commentary track on an Airbud DVD up there, but no, it's it's Don literally. I mean, because I even hear it through Discord sometimes, which I thought was kind of odd. Is that I was like, is that a Tootsie Pop commercial? What is that? Because you just hear.
You don't need to like give people a censored version. You can just go the whole hog hunter.
Well, I mean, I don't think I'm even giving. I feel like I'm trying to lay out the information because what we're talking about is so staggering. People are like, oh yeah, like he eats pussy. You know, everybody eats pussy.
Yeah, like who doesn't is fucking 2020.
Yeah, exactly. People eat ass and everything. And that's the weird thing about Don is that he doesn't eat ass, he sucks it, which I thought was kind of odd too. He places his lips up to the asshole and he sucks really hard until the ass prolapses itself. But then he likes to lick pussy. He likes to chew on the clit like a piece of Slim Jim beef jerky. And it really affects the personal relationship. You know, we record on Mondays because over the weekend, we usually do it. But Don is so sweaty and battered and tired from just chowing. And his jaw gets hinged. You know how many times he's like, sorry, I can't record today, guys. My jaw's all locked up. I got locked jaw. And that's just from eating pussy the whole weekend.
Well, you've probably heard him like clearing his throat a lot too.
Yeah, he does it on
and that is on the Monday after the weekend. He's just trying to fucking clear out the liters and liters of fucking pussy gunk that is built up over the course of the entire weekend. And frankly, it's fucking disgusting.
That was one thing that he actually educated me on, which I thought was kind of cool. Was he was like, you know, it's not hazardous to have like pussy juice in your mouth or anything like that, but it crystallizes in a weird way in your throat as if it's syrup. So whenever you have a lot of it back there, you really get it choked back up in some different pipes. It gets in different crevices. So that's when. So if you ever hear Don on the podcast and he's like, it's because he has pussy crystals in his throat and he's trying to work them out. And
well, the fucked up thing is though is that like. Through that process of clearing his throat to get the pussy crystals out,
right.
he's like reverse Pavloved his girlfriend to get more wet. Because now when she hears that, she associates that in a Pavlovian manner to him just fucking going to town on her pussy.
You know, a lot of times too, it was a shame. She called me one day and she said, you know, I need a break. I'm raw down there. It's kind of like, but he insists, you know, that's kind of his forte, his quote, as it were, his catchphrase is, you know, I don't care, I'm going in, and just it's like watching Planet Earth when you're watching a cheetah attack a very innocent animal or something that's really nice and cute, and then you just kind of feel bad. Except this time it's a 7 foot tall like gremlin man like feasting. In some weird way, kind of like a lion, eating some kind of prey. He's a cat, is what I'm trying to say. He's a feral cat going in.
Well, I don't want to. You know, it's a sensitive time at the moment. But at some point, you have to ask, why does the gazelle keep letting itself get eaten?
I wonder if the gazelle is trapped and feels like it can't leave.
I mean, that's a valid point.
I wonder
where can the gazelle go?
I wonder if the gazelle feels like, hey, is this as good as it gets? And you know, well, to be fair, the line's intimidating. the lion is intimidating, and sometimes you're afraid to fucking get out of the brush and fucking hop across the field and get out. Sometimes you just rather just stay put and ride the storm.
I mean, you don't want to make the lion angry because you're going to make it worse. You know how it gets when it's angry.
That is true. I do think it's kind of odd because I remember Don said, oh, women they don't feel down there. Women don't orgasm, which I thought was odd. And I thought to myself, well, Don, they do. I'm like, you just grit your teeth against the. He
was very stern about it. I do remember that conversation. He would not let it go.
Very threatening. And he's kind of becoming, which we didn't want to, I guess we didn't really want to say why he's gone, but I think that just to be transparent with the viewers, we should. He's at a rehabilitation clinic, sorting himself out. He does have an addiction
in Mongolia.
He's trying exactly. Well, I say Cambodia, but Mongolia, one of those. And
he crosses the border. There's more than one treatment center.
Yeah, he crosses the border with one footstep, and he and he does have a problem. And apparently, the Cambodian or Mongolian or they have very good ways to help with addiction. Especially addiction that isn't plagued with.
I think just the price on human life over there is cheap. I think if we really get to the brass tacks of it.
Well, I don't think I necessarily. I think all human life is pretty. I would say pretty equal.
I agree. All human life is sacred, but over there in those systems, human life becomes worth less. And if you need to lose a few people to a very rough tongue and an insatiable appetite.
I don't think they're feeding Don.
They'll do that.
I don't think they're feeding Don natives. I think that
they're feeding Don unimaginable amounts of Asian pussy.
Which
unimaginable amounts.
Which I don't think was going to help because I was under the impression that he was going over there to get away from it. He was going to go. He was going to go in the deep of the jungle. He was going to go in the deep of the jungle.
No, listen. It's how when you get caught smoking a cigarette, they make you smoke the whole pack.
Yeah,
that is the methodology that is. I think the science is supporting right now is the cure for this, and that is why he is 30 to 40 women deep in Cambodia, Mongolia.
The moral of the story, he needs help. He needs help because something in his past has definitely happened. I mean, when you're dealing with somebody who is just full-fledged addicted to eating muff, to eating that salty cabbage, that we know that he has done something. We don't know what yet. We're trying to find out. While he's gone, I can tell you what you should do with those 2 weeks, Tom, is you should dig a little deeper, and you should figure out what's going on with him.
I don't want to make any inappropriate connections or anything, but he does talk about his mum a lot.
Well, his mom doesn't have a very healthy relationship, does she?
I don't know if it'd be my place to say one way or the other, but they did have a somewhat standoffish relationship because we lived at Don's mum's house for a while there.
Right.
And
well, it was odd that they were sleeping in the same bed, right?
Well, yeah, I thought I didn't know first off that we were gonna reveal that on the podcast, but it's out there now and we said it, so we said it. Yeah, they sleep in the same bed together.
A twin, yeah.
They have separate duvets, so it's not as weird as it sounds.
Okay, I didn't know that. Yeah, I just remember that. I just remember he used to say night night and used to grab his mom by the neck. It always made those Halo LAN parties when we used to stay over at his house pretty awkward, if I have to be honest.
I thought she was just administering his back knee medicine, but come to think of it, you don't need that long. No man needs 3 hours of back knee medication, so something else was happening. I just never dared to assume anything, really.
I always thought that also he always put on pro wrestling at an absurd, it was so loud, which I thought was even weirder because usually when people are trying to mask sounds, they'll put on music or something, right? But I thought he's clever like that because I remember he had all those reruns of WWE matches that he used to blare. I remember we used to text him. We used to text him, hey, could you turn down the WWE? We can hear it from the other room. And then he would just send back the tongue emoji type deal. And I was like, what does he mean by this? See, this is actually flooding back a lot of memories. Because now I'm starting to remember last Halloween. Remember when he just kept talking for like about 2 months straight? He kept talking about how jealous he was of Scooby-Doo. And we were like, what are you talking about? We're like,
yes, I do remember that.
Yeah.
That was strange.
And he kept saying Rutrow. He said that for about 2 months. And he said, do you wish that you just had Scooby-Doo's tongue? Because I remember he used to watch the same sequence where this large tongue comes out and it eats like a 7-foot tall deli sandwich all at once. And I was like, oh, I mean, not really. I'd rather just be a sentient human being than like a weird talking dog. And he was like, and he just said, not me. There's a lot of times where I think he's wanted to hurt me a couple times, and he hasn't, if I had to be honest. There's been a lot of times where I'll be in the restroom and he has the master key to every room in the house, and he just kind of lets himself in.
Go on.
And sorry, it's just kind of emotional for me.
It's understandable. Do you find he often starts by sliding his abnormally long fingers under the door crack, and
that's usually how
they come through, and he tries to tap your toes with them. He hunts around and he tries to tap your toes. And you're just like, fuck, quit it, Don. And you're moving your feet around, trying to avoid his gangly fingers. But he always finds them. You know, that's
you know why he does that is because he told me one time. I remember I was sitting in the room and I heard him chuckling in the bathroom, and it was because his cat was pawing underneath the door. And he was in the bathroom and he was like, he was like, he sat there, he was chuckling to himself. He said, silly games.
That's where that comes from.
And that's why when you see his, it kind of reminds me of Mel Gibson's movie, The Signs. You see those kind of like long alien fingers drip underneath the door. And that's when you hear him from outside the door, and he's just like, silly games.
Like, Don, cut it out.
You do have to. That's one thing about him, though, is like he is kind of like an animal. Like he has a very simple mind. Like while he is masterful in the ways of brilliance, he does have maybe the mind of a 4-year-old. So you do have to kind of snap at him to really get things across. Stomp on his toes, stomp on his fingers, whatever he's trying to do to you. You kind of have to be quick with him, or else he'll get really fucking pissed. He really is not a. I wouldn't say he's a housebroke animal yet. Like, I think he's definitely has a long way to go.
Well, I think he mostly acts and relies on instinct.
He's actually he can't even see. He does nothing but smell.
Maybe there's a connection there.
If you look at his eyes long enough, you'll realize that they're glass eyes. He blinks. He blinks kind of as if it's like a robot. Like he's never really blinked correctly before. So he kind of just You'll find that also he just stares into nothing a lot of the time, and it's
very unsettling.
Kind of blink really hard. That's just because that's just what he thinks he should be doing.
Yeah, the problem is all of the friction on his extremely dry eyes makes this horrific shuddering sound as he does it, and you can hear it. You don't know where he is. It's dark. You come through the door, but you just hear this sound, and I'll let our sound engineer put it in now. Yeah, like that.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, Don, I know you're there.
So he sits in dark rooms. He sits in dark rooms and waits for people to come in. He sits in dark rooms and waits for people to come in. And then when they're like, Don, I know you're in here, you just hear him. Silly games.
Dude, I can't fucking bring my wife through the door with me at the same time because he fucking starts taking in these long, deep breaths through his nose. Every time he's like,
yeah. Well, he starts small. I just hate whenever he gets past, because there's 3 stages of attack. So whenever he smells you, you're okay. If you keep him in stage 1, he's always in stage 1, which he's always just kind of sniffing around. Stage 2, though, is when he really starts licking his lips. He does. And then stage 3 is inevitably the pounce, and he goes for the kill for sure.
Well, what I've learnt to do is I will like tap at the bottom of the front door, tap 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 tap, tap 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 tap, and as soon as I see his long slendery fingers come under the crack, I signal to my wife who's at the back door, and she has to she has to unlock the door, run fucking through, run up the stairs, run into our bedroom, and lock the door, because she has 5 seconds whilst Don slides his fingers back under the door crack and scuttles after her and tries to just fucking devour her pussy.
Once he kind of grabs it, it's kind of like being around a dog that you're intimidated by, that has like a chew toy.
Don is a pit bull, I'll say it.
Yeah, he's a pit.
Yeah, I'll say it.
I'd say he's a pit.
Well, what really fucking pisses me off is his girlfriend, just like every fucking pit owner I ever met, tries to excuse his behavior. I'm like, statistically, Don is the problem. And she's like, he's a very good boy. He listens to me. He's very well trained, and he's not. And she can't fucking see it because dog owners can never fucking see it.
I do think it's weird. She says he's a good breed, and I'm like, he's human. Like, what does that even mean? He's a good breed. I'm like, I'm pretty sure he's just a human being. She's like, he's a good boy, huh? And I don't know. I don't move fast around him. I kind of even sometimes if he looks at me, I turn my back to him because I don't want him to feel threatened. And that's usually the general dynamic of how this works. Even getting him to be a part of this Creamcast was not, I mean, I would hate to say this because this is definitely, this is not about, this episode's not supposed to be about Don, but, I told him, I said, me and Tom are probably going to make a podcast just to see if we could, have fun with it, do whatever. And I remember he got so angry. I remember he looked right at me and he put his chin right into his fucking throat, and he was just like, "If I'm not on that podcast, I will fucking kill you both." And I took that threat very seriously.
Well, it's progress, because usually he just starts to kill himself.
He does. He's that is true. Every day I definitely look through. I look through the lens of, if he wasn't in my life anymore, would it make my life easier? And I think that inevitably the answer has always been yes. So I always try to egg him on to do it. But unfortunately, it always ends with him just saying silly games. And then usually that's when the woman that he's with gets the worst of it. Usually that's the end of that the end of that relationship. He goes too far, is what we're saying.
Don, no. That's how it starts. And that's his favorite 2 words. Those are his favorite 2 words in the English lexicon. When he hears that.
I remember that was kind of weird. That's weird. I remember we were talking about oh, what's your favorite word? And we were probably like, it was like a funny discussion we were having. We were like, what's my favorite word? Oh, it's probably fuck, because fuck is so flavorful. It's like spicy, whatever. It's just a fun word. I remember he just said my favorite word. He said, my favorite word is no.
Just a bit of a...
It's definitely like a roadblock. It's like an emergency brake. Kind of just halts whatever you're talking about, and then all of a sudden, the game becomes not a game anymore. It becomes very real, and it's horrifying.
Well, all of that aside, I think we've got to give props to his current girlfriend for lasting as long as she has.
Very long time.
Because most of them have been drained of their lively essence at this point. And she has kept it going for months, years even.
It's true.
And you got to ask, like, how does one person have that much essence before just turning into a raisin?
Right. Well, I think that multiple surgeries have helped. Definitely the procedures, which I don't know if we can get into those.
Yeah, you got to congratulate her doctor, I suppose, as much as anybody.
She's had, which I don't want to get into their business, but she has definitely taken the fat from, various parts of her excess fat in different parts of her body and had to reconstruct her pussy numerous times.
Yeah, he'll wear a hole in it in a day. He can open up a new cavity.
The only way I can describe how he eats muff is when you watch it. That was a sound bite we had. We put a mic in the room. That was just, we hated. I didn't want to make it that brief.
Don, no.
You don't fucking tell me no.
And just hours. We have hours of that.
And to give you a more real life situation or a visual that you might understand is like watching a dog that has like a sock toy and they don't really chew on it. They just tear at it and they tear all the stuffing out of the inside. That's exactly how I would say he does it. And it definitely goes.
Don! Don, stop! Calm down, Don! Don, stop!
Once again, another sound clip, which these are horrifying recordings. I remember we bought him I thought it was kind of funny. We bought him an iPhone 4. He doesn't know how to use phones, so we just tell him, "Oh, this is the newest. This is the newest phone." When really they're about fucking 10 years old or whatever. But we bought him an iPhone 4 and we put it on the setting. We just had it recording at all times because once again he's gonna look at it and be like, actually he can't even look. He has glass eyes, so he can't even look at it. So he doesn't even know. So we had it recording and he just those are the audio clips we got from those recordings, and it's truly horrifying.
We'll let our sound engineer Justin play another one right now.
Yeah. Once again, people, this is not supposed to be about Don. This is supposed to be just two friends who care about a guy they know.
Who's frankly tearing themselves, their partner, their business partner, and their business partner's partner apart.
I remember I was talking to Don's dad, and Don's dad was telling me, he was like, it's so hard having him as a son. It's so hard to say I love you to that. And I was like,
he's done a fantastic job, Don's dad. I think it's fair to say, like,
well, what if your son is John Wayne Gacy, or if your son's Jeffrey Dahmer? It's still your son, but you look at them as if you're like, where did I go wrong? But see, the thing with Don's dad is he was like, I did everything the best I could. I remember Don, he grew up in a very nice neighborhood, upper middle class. He had his whole life in front of him, and then at some point there was just some kind of pivot, and I was just like, I remember talking to his dad, and that's just the only quote I can remember him saying, and it was just so powerful. He just said, "It is so hard to pretend that I love that," and he won't say his son. He just says that, because I don't think he looks at I don't think he looks at Don as if he's human. I think he looks at him like some kind of creature, an alien or something. Which, can you blame him?
Well, no, I mean, I spoke to him one time about Don's delivery, and he said the fierceness of which he held onto his mother's labia on the way out.
Right.
He knew instantly something was wrong. He knew that wasn't a normal infant behavior. Thank God he
didn't have teeth. Thank God he didn't have teeth.
Yeah, no, he just gummed at them futilely. They did get him detached, but I think that was going to set the tone for a long time to come.
Yeah, that's definitely like a precursor to a larger storm for sure. That was a small crack of lightning in a larger storm for sure.
I wonder if it would be prudent to see if we can get one of Don's family member in the call to tell their truth, like you were saying.
I think well, I can probably try and see if I can't get somebody on. Hold on a second, let me see what happens. Hold on, I think we got somebody on the phone. Here, Tom, I'm gonna have to route him through.
Hello?
Hey, is that Don's sister? Hello?
Yeah, this is Don's sister. My name's Becky.
Hey, Becky. Thank you for having this.
Are you there?
Come on this. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, sorry, there's a thunderstorm outside. It's so windy.
It's okay. Hopefully the connection strengthens. We wanted to thank you for coming on to the podcast to discuss.
Oh my God! Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Your experiences as Don's.
Thank you. Are you there?
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, we're just trying to. Yeah. We're trying to figure out what. We just want perspective, I guess, from somebody who grew up with Don. I mean, do you have any perspective with Don at all?
Don, my brother Don? Yeah, I mean, he loves eating pussy.
Wait, Tell me if I'm overstepping my bounds, but maybe your friends?
I just saw.
Any?
Oh my god.
Say that again?
Oh my god. Oh no.
What's wrong? Becky, what's wrong,
god.
Becky?
Oh. I just saw. Oh my god. I just saw a truck hit a toddler.
That's awful.
Oh my god. The toddler pooped its pants. There's poop and blood all over the road.
Becky, reining you back into the theme of this podcast.
Oh.
Becky, let's stay on topic. Please explain if you can what it was like growing up with Don. Was he a normal child? Was he did he have a lot of friends? Not many friends. Becky, I'm just I'm gonna give you a second to compose yourself. I'm gonna give you a second to compose yourself,
I don't think
I'm gonna
my
nip
life
to
is gonna be the same after today. Hello? No, I didn't see anything. No, I mean, I saw it, but I didn't. No, I don't know. I don't know how long I've been here. Oh. I'm on the phone with my brother's friends. They're talking about his addiction to eating pussy. Yes, it's a real thing. Oh, God. I'm gonna be so late to work. You know what, actually? I think I'm gonna be okay. That was a lot to handle at once. I should be fine now. Whew.
Hello.
Hi. Sorry about that. I'm much better now.
Good. That's great. So what was it like growing up with Don?
Don was an interesting child. Is this going to be public, or what can I say?
You can just speak your truth. Anything that you say, we can go back and look at later. It doesn't really need to be published.
If I had to speak my truth, because I'm going to be honest, there hasn't been good blood with us for many years. Don went to juvenile detention because he tried clawing his way through my bed and eating my own pussy. And he did this multiple times, and he used to say with his disgusting voice, he used to say, "Oh, well, I was sleepwalking." And I was like, "Don, that's not an excuse. You can't just say you were sleepwalking. You were sleepwalking at 11 a.m., 11 in the morning, Don? Really? You were sleepwalking." And he used to do this just gross, sick, nasty, froggy voice. He used to say, "Oh, I'm sorry that I stay up all night. I'm sorry that I stay up all night and I sleep all day because I don't have a job." That was, to an extent, that was our relationship, was me trying to not know this man who lived right next to me because I did not like him. And if you asked anybody in my family, they'd probably lie, and they would probably, like Justin, my other big, gross brother, used to say, just big, tall, lanky, gross brother. He's going to be a pilot. Yeah, right. He's not going to be a pilot. You remember, he's been telling people, he's like, oh, I'm going to go fly this plane. You're not going to fly shit, Justin. He's colorblind. They don't let colorblind freaks fly planes.
There will be an expose on Justin too, Becky, but I guess I'm curious how often these night terrors took Don.
Well, I mean, night terrors. You might as well just call them terrors because they happen at all sense of the day. And like I said, he just used sleepwalking as an excuse every time. I remember one time there's this old woman that lived next to us named Mrs. Thomas, and she used to sit there. She was a third grade teacher, adorable old woman, married for, 50 plus years, who knows. Don went over there while she was watering her flowers, and he put his large beaked nose into her little pussy crevice, and he just sniffed real hard. And that shocked her so much that she had a heart attack. That's why he went to juvenile, because technically he killed somebody. With his long, jagged, moon rock nose that God knows how that came out of my mother. God rest her soul. Even though she's not dead, I still want to say rest her soul because it's been that much of a turmoil.
So, how did he get caught? Who turned him in?
Well, he caught him. I mean, there's only the whole neighborhood caught him. It was a huge spectacle. I remember. I mean, this really brought everybody together because we removed the toxic, presence in the neighborhood. I think everybody was afraid of him. I mean, I'm afraid of him still. when you're dealing with somebody who's 11 feet tall, doesn't have eyes, has glass eyes, got a moon rock nose, got an Adam's apple that looks like there's a meat cleaver stuck in your throat. I mean, you are gonna be afraid of this man. And he caught himself because we all got together and we said, fuck this guy. And that's my brother. But I don't technically call him my brother, because I hate him.
Are you afraid of repercussions now that he's out?
Well, he's going to his little Mongolian, Cambodian therapy session for, however long, 2 weeks, whatever. He's going to be back. He's going to be doing the same thing. And I pray that he tries to come and do something to me, because I'll tell you what I have. I have guns, and I have a lot of them. And if he tries to come near me, I've told him numerous times, and he knows this. You can ask him. I told him, if you come near me, so help me God, so help me. So help me God, I will gun you down like the dog in the street that you are.
Becky, hold on a second. We are, in fact, actually getting a call from Cambodia, Mongolia. Hunter, shall I patch it through?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right.
Go ahead.
Okay, all right. Hello? I can only assume this is Don. Don, hello? Are you there?
Don, if you're there, just say something. I think he's afraid.
Yep. Yeah, we're getting you through loud and clear, Don. Clear your throat, Don. Clear your throat. Get the pussy crystals out.
Oh, he's very sick. Don, are you okay?
How is the rehabilitation going, Don?
It's going okay.
Don, I'm having a hard time understanding you. Can you just try clearing your throat out one more time, big guy, please? Can you?
How's
that?
Better?
Oh, that's great. You're much clearer. So, as I'm sure you heard, your sister Becky is on the line. And I assume you wanted the chance to defend yourself against the accusations of pussy malfeasance.
I didn't do that.
You're saying you didn't do that?
I didn't do that.
Okay. Well, there is.
I'll be honest, Don. I mean, sorry to cut you off, Tom. I'll be honest.
Go ahead.
It seems like the evidence is kind of stacked against you. Honestly, I mean, we've had multiple. I mean, there's police records. There's all sorts of stuff of these mishappenings.
Dental records.
Literal dental records.
I don't have teeth.
Did you just say you don't have teeth?
No, I don't have teeth. I don't have any of them. I don't have teeth.
We've seen your teeth.
Yeah, we've seen your teeth, Don.
No.
Okay.
No. And I'll tell you something. When I come back, I'm gonna have a vengeance, and I'm going to hunt you both down. So help me God.
Okay, Don. Just getting a little ahead of yourself.
You're kind of being a tad threatening, and this podcast was not. This podcast isn't about Don.
We had a whole fucking thing, the ream of topics we wanted to talk about, and you're taking this and you're making it about you, and frankly, I don't appreciate it, and I don't think my co-host appreciates it.
You sabotaged this podcast by not being here, by having to go and get help. What is that even supposed to be? What are you doing?
I'm thinking.
Thinking about what?
About what I should be saying. I feel bad. I wish I could have been there to record with you guys. I'm sorry, Tom.
I'm not ready. I'm not ready to forgive you.
Me, I'm sorry.
I'll be honest. I was kind of taken back by the allegations I heard today, but I think I am ready to forgive. I think I'm ready to accept you back. But you gotta start cutting it out. You gotta start cutting it out.
I know. I'm so sorry. And I'm gonna try to be better, I swear.
Well, you've got an opportunity here, Don, to start with your sister, who I think you've maybe hurt more than anyone. Don't get angry, Don. You've been making a lot of progress. Don't backslide,
Would
Don.
you calm down? You're fucking acting like a maniac.
Don, it's just your sister.
Oh my God! Here,
you don't
listen.
need to bark at her.
Don, would you just?
I'm sorry. Okay. I forgive her for the lies that she's been spreading, and I hope that you guys can forgive me too for things that I never did.
Don't you think that's a bit antagonistic?
That seems like kind of a cop out. That doesn't seem like you're really taking accountability.
No. I'm taking accountability for the things that I never did.
No, do you see the contradiction though of what you're saying?
No.
Okay. Well, I don't think we're gonna get away with this. Don, I hope you take care of yourself. Spend those 2 weeks and get help, dude. For real.
We want you back, Don, but we want you back fixed.
I'll be back. I'll be back when I'm good and goddamn ready. And when I come back, I'm not gonna have changed one fucking bit. I'm a rebel.
Okay, well,
I'm a rebel
doesn't
without a
seem
cause.
very healthy.
Okay, but by saying you're a rebel without a cause, I mean that I don't even know what the fuck you're supposed to be saying with that. Are you like a Hell's Angel from 1968?
Fuck you.
Oh, he hung up. Okay. Well,
Okay. Well, Becky, I'm sorry that you had to hear that. We thought maybe there might be a chance he could apologize, but he's clearly not ready.
What? Oh God. Oh God. I think I'm getting a weird cell reception. Are you guys there?
Yeah. Can you hear us?
Hello?
Becky?
Hello?
oh, I think that hurt. Yeah.
Oh, Becky. She's gone. Oh, no.
Do you think this has been a helpful podcast, Tom? I feel like I've gotten a lot off my chest. I kind of feel like I've almost confessed my sins in a weird way.
Keep your wife, keep your daughters, keep them safe, keep them away.
From Don.
From Don. I cannot stress enough how much of a danger he is.
I feel like this is our Halloween episode.
We're going to need some creepy music behind the whole thing.
Well, this was our episode of Cream Crew without Don. We hope that he gets the help that he so desperately desires. I'm sure he'll be back next week and not realize that he was on the call or try to lie. Don't, hold it against him. He is a piece of shit, but he's our piece of shit. Good day, everybody.